ever do that. Luckily that fad has faded, that's all I gotta say. Cody, for our warm-up, it says graph. What do we got here? Y equals 2 bracket x plus 1 squared minus 7 and safe min range. Okay, so please put a star and a heart beside this question because this will definitely be on your test later this week. All right, we'll start with Cody then. What's the vertex of this graph, please? Yes, the vertex is going to be is -1 and -7. Will Cody open upwards or downwards? Now the reason it's upwards is because this 2 is a positive, right? If that 2 is negative, you're going downwards. So this is going to open up. Now please remember when you're graphing these, okay, that the x inside the bracket switches. Like that's a +1 switches to -1. All right, Nick, what's my a value, please?
2.
Yeah, good. And what's 3a and what's 5a?
6 and 10.
Okay. Now, if you remember, this is like I call this a step pattern when I teach it in grade 10. It's the steps that you're taking to get the next points in the parabola. We're all looking on that part? Yes.
I find out if it opens up or not.
Okay, because if the number in front of the brackets is positive, it means it's going to open upwards, and then I always used to draw this, and you guys are far too mature. Okay, but I used to draw this graph. There's a happy parabola. Yes, I did. A happy parabola and a sad parabola, right? Is what that is.
Much easier.
Yes.
So A is just like Y.
Yeah.
Wait, you always multiply by 3/5?
Yes, right on. The general equation is going to be this: y equals to ax minus h squared plus k, and it's always a 3a 5a. That's what it always goes. Okay.
Is there any reason why that's like that? Or is it just that?
Yeah, well, the reason it acts like that, I was asked this yesterday. The reason it acts like that, if you think of a parabola, the standard parabola, there's 0, 0. Okay, that's your standard parabola, right, for x squared. If you look at how the points go up, this is 1, then 1 plus 3 is 4, then 4 plus 5 is 9, right? So that's where it comes from. There's your 1. Oops. There's your 1 right there, the A, 3A, 5A. That's where it comes from. All right, let's get to graphing this. I'm going to do this very quickly because I hope we're doing okay. I'll quickly make the graph. You should be doing graph paper for this yourselves. Oops. But I'm going to quickly do this graph. Please, when we do our test on Thursday, please make sure you're very accurate. This is one thing that I'm probably unnecessarily mean about, but I need to make sure that our graphs look sharp. Okay, when we're doing this, what's the maximum point, or the minimum point, I guess, that needs to be on this graph? What's the minimum point? -7. So I need to make sure when I do this, I'm going to get down to -7. So it goes 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So I've easily made it. And if you remember, I'm going to put arrows in all 4 corners, label my y-axis and my x-axis here as well too. I'm going to take a second to pause the video and give everyone a chance to scribble if they haven't yet. I'll take a sip of coffee. Here we go. I'm going to keep doing my graph here. Sorry, I shouldn't tell jokes. Okay, first point is going to be -1 and -7, which is over here someplace. All right. Thomas, what's the next point going to be?
We should put the 2, 6, and 10.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to go over 1, right? And then up 2. And you don't have to write 2 on your graph if you don't want to. What's that? Sorry?
Do you always just go over 1?
Yeah, it's like, think of like slope, it's like rise over run. We're just going, you're running 1 and you're going up whatever. So it's always just 1 square.
So like next one would be over
over 1 up 6 right now. So over 1 up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to have room. Or will I? No, I'm not going to have room to get up 10. On your graph, on your test, please make sure I see at least 3 points that I've done there. That's all I need to see. Connect the dots. Please put your arrows. And there you go. I'll put our title here too. And then Calvin will do the same thing on the left-hand side, right? Except for we'll go left 1, up 2, and left 1 and up 6. There's that. Okay, please note it should be a perfect symmetry on both sides. I use different colors so you can see, but it should be perfectly symmetrical. Okay. Any questions on that? Can we go? Just the one I'm going to say for those people in the back row that. That's my anger was just out of the place. All right, domain and range. Now, one thing I'm going to talk about 3U's I said I wouldn't, but I'm going to. On the first quiz, they had to graph a parabola, and I wrote down state the domain and range, and about 5 kids out of 30 did. Okay, so I will make sure on your test I'll say Cody's favorite thing to do in a question is to state the domain and range. No, I won't say that, but I'll underline it or something. So you have to do it. In English, Callan, we're up to you. What's the domain mean in English? It means your possible x values, your span of x values. Right? So what are the possible x values, please? For this. That's the y values be like this, right? That'd be your y's. So I'll write that down. So your range when we get to that is from. Oops. Try again here. The range is going to be y is greater than or equal to -7. Good to see. Okay. What's the domain then? Somebody else here. What's the domain, please? Domain is anything. And this way, write anything just like this. Let's go on the next. Now, this question right here. This question right here, as I mentioned, will be on your test on Thursday. This will be on this Thursday. Yeah, yes, the domain for any parabola is anything. So this first test will be easy, because for the domain, you'll always just write XER, and that's it for that. Yes?
But you don't need any equal to or greater than sign?
No, because if you think here, it just keeps on going. Like, if you really want to get creative, and please don't write this down, okay, but this is for Liam, you can write this one. You can go from negative infinity to infinity if you really want to go crazy. Okay, but if you don't do it then. Right? Like the smallest value is negative infinity, and the biggest value is infinity. Like you can technically say that. Because right, this graph, if you keep on going here, right, if I made it really big, I could keep on stepping over again and again and again, right? Like it would never actually stop. It would keep on going up to the moon, up to space, you know, whatever. It would keep on going.
Wouldn't that be positive?
Well, positive this would be negative. What thing your x? I think your x values though, right? Like this is like you go left or right, right? Kim, question?
For the test, do we have to do that?
Yes, yes. If you do it in English, you'll lose half a mark. So you can do it in English, you'll lose half a mark. There'll be 1 mark for the domain, 1 mark for the range. If you just say x is anything, you get half a mark. If you give it to me like this, you get a full mark. Okay, if you say y is bigger than -7, you get half a mark. If you give it to me that, you get a full mark. All right?
Okay.
Don't stress out, you can do it. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause the video, then I'm going to do number 2 and number 7 from last night, or number 2 and number 8 from last night.